Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right. Since the 80s and wasn't always cool, especially with the ladies. I was a damn fool. Dad was an alcoholic. Mama, she had to leave him. Grew up around the fighting, the fussing, cussing, and cheating. That's when I started breaking all of the rules. Selling drugs and robbing people. I was kicked out of school. I was a bad kid, mad kid, tearing shit up. Sleeping on couches with 40 bottles and cigarette butts. Years go by and I got sick. Stage 4 lymphoma, how'd I get this shit? Lucky to be alive, so I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love by the waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Believes. This is Breakfast with Believes, and we are talking about cryptocurrency, and we are looking at the market right now, and we've seen a drop of about 50 points in Ethereum on the overnight. I call it maybe 40 points because it was kind of peaking at around 1590, seemed to be fighting through that 1585 sort of area, not able to break 16. So maybe, we'll call it a 40-point drop just in the last little while. Is it cause for concern? And the answer to that is no. This is a little pre-correction because people are still just a tiny bit unsure of what's going to happen in the market today. Spoiler alert, it's going to pump. But we're going to do a poll right now. We're going to ask the question. After the FOMC, will we pump or pump? Pump. Now we're going to create a poll here, and there you go. All right, guys, let me know what you think, and we'll see what happens, and then you'll know whether or not you were right or not. So, yeah, but in other news, if you haven't already heard or you haven't already seen, Volta change, you know what? I can't say anything, right? There's going to be an announcement on Friday, and if you're a Volt holder, you're going to be happy. Wink, wink, nod. So he says to everyone in particular. So it looks like we have a really good something going on, and hopefully that'll be a cool thing. But let's go look at the chart real quick, and we can see here that Ethereum has kind of retraced down here. Now, we did hit this 1550 line for support. Now, what I told you was this was my buy zone, right? Well, that was my buy zone last night or yesterday when it was popping down here, because I knew that we would have at least a relief rally to get close to 1600, right? And, I figured if you bought 20 ETH at 1550, sure enough, it was going to go to 1600. And it did just barely kind of touch that 1600 level. Let's call it 1590, something like that. That's a pretty good amount of money that you could make. But right now it's sitting at 1550, and we've got a few hours. And you know what? I need to move this because I'm an idiot. I put it on the wrong day. Shows you I don't know shit. Anyway, so we're right here. All right. And that being the case, we've got a few more candles to mint. So what's the likelihood of a pump right now? And the likelihood of a pump right now is probably not very good. The most likely scenario is we see this thing kind of play out and we get down here. We might even get a wick that takes us down through here. But I think my little go line right there stays firm. And then I think we start to pump from there. So I'm going to, and this is going to be at 2 o'clock, by the way, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be a dump in crypto. If you go back and you look at FOMC meeting minutes, then you can see it nonstop. Like it just continues and continues and continues. So I feel like this is how we're going to see, and this is how I'm going to play it. I'm going to go and get in maybe around, let's call it 2:15, something like that. I'll take that 15 minutes worth of dump down there if I think that the price is just kind of right. And then I'll be there for that boom, because we're going to get the 75 basis points. I got to think that we're, in one way or another, we're going to get at least 75 basis points in a pump there, and 50, an announcement saying that there's gonna, look, we've got even what's her name, Smokahontas, Liz Warren, the Liz Warren lady. She's now asking the Fed if they are actively trying to tank the markets and destroy the economy. So when you see people start to do stuff like that, then you should recognize that there's something going on, and the Fed is not can't continue. The Fed's not going to be able to continue doing what they're doing for much longer. They're going to have some sort of relief, and I think that today becomes that day when we start to see a little bit of relief in that market. So, we'll see what happens. But let's move on. And Luna Classic 2198 dropped to 2,000, sparking a bunch of buy orders. Look at the buy orders. Imagine this. A bunch of people set buy orders right down here at exactly 2,000. And then we had that massive sell down, and boom, it got bought back up around this level here. So, we lost in this situation. We lost this guy right here, whoever this big investor is, and then whatever little weak-handed, paper-handed hoes were also there with him. And then it caused like the trade going sideways, but the trading was already going sideways. So all we did was we lost a couple of people, right? One of them being a whale. Was it what's that fucking dude's name? Was it Bull BNB? I don't know. Was it Kong Trading? I don't know. I know that Kong Trading seemed to have been talking about Luna Classic quite a bit. I know that Bull BNB started crying about it the other day, like, hey. So I don't know, but there was a big whale that dumped out, and that leaves us where we are now. What does that mean? Well, that means the same thing that it meant on this last one. Right here, we've got this FOMC meeting that's going to happen, and that meeting is at this spot right here. So the question is, what happens? Well, we're going to take a step backwards just a little bit, and we're going to look at what happened the last time we had one of those massive moves. Well, so the last time we had one of these massive downward moves was over here. It was on September 23rd, that Friday, and the end result of that move was the same kind of spike. You can see that right here, where it just triggered a bunch of buy orders. People got back in, and that put them right here. Then we saw a relief start, but then, of course, the market started to tank. So we saw this happen. Then we saw a big downward movement. Now you're watching that big downward movement happening. It's all happening a little bit faster. It's all hyper accelerated because we're at this FOMC point. So what is the most likely scenario here? Probably this. And then we have a relief rally that will extend, in my estimation, to about, shit, I didn't even go far enough, to about 3,400. So I think we're going to probably pump to about 3,400, and that should be a really nice sort of relief rally that we're going to experience on Luna Classic. Now, if we do, it would be my recommendation, like, if you have any, like, look, if you have anything on the sideline, I want you to look at this right here. Okay. This is the move right now. Okay. We've popped down here. We might wait a little bit for the Fed announcement, but there's going to be a relief rally on USTC coming real soon. And I mean, this thing has kind of trended to the upward position. So, we might see another pop up here just kind of like you're really just kind of looking for patterns, right? But if you just kind of bear with me here and you say like this is a spot, and then you can see here that there's a lot of points of contact that are indicating that there's like settling in certain positions. And you don't know this for sure, by the way, because there's still this right here. So you've got these big tops over here that are popping, right? Well, if you take this top right here, you take this right here, and you call this and this and this right here. If you put these two together and say that this was the top, then this was like that little pump relief right after. So this was the top, this was the little pump relief right after. Then you get a little bit of sideways action. Then you get like a little mini pump. Then you get another pop down to the bottom. Then you get some sideways action. Then you get another relief pop, right? Well, if that's the case, then what you're looking at over here is probably the same thing through the FOMC meeting. We're going to have it right here. And then boom, a few hours later, we go up here and we hit this top again. And that top looks like it's around 56. So it's about 5.6 cents. So you're going 3.6 cents to 5.6 cents. That is a significant, and I mean significant, amount of pump that you would be able to get in that situation for what you're doing. So take that for what you will, but that really looks like kind of a good play. So, but again, I mean, like I think it's going to hit this right here, and then we're going to do the same thing. Then we'll bounce off of this relief for a little bit. Then we're going to come back down here, and then do the same thing again. That seems to be the predictable pattern that you're seeing play out right here. So play the pattern that you see. You know what I mean? Like if you play the pattern that you see, other people see the same pattern. So why not just do that? So if you have anything on the sideline for USTC, I would not be mad. Like if you were my finance manager and you told me, hey bro, I bought USTC just now at 3.5 cents. Look at this chart. And I would be like, oh shit. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Like I'm not going to get 6.5, right? I don't think so. Anyway, I'm not going to get 7.5, but I do have a trend line formed that says that I'm going to get 5.5. So, if I can take 10 grand and I make 20% off of it, then that's an extra $2,000. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? So that's a lot of volatility. So there's that. And then Doge over here. What are we seeing on Doge? Well, we're seeing the same thing that was developing here, playing out here, but the relief rally that we were getting here is a little bit faded, right? It's moving to the side, and we're seeing this little downward movement into a new channel here. Are we going to use this line right here that we had already established here as kind of a support level down here? And then do we continue on? Well, we're going to need an announcement pretty soon from Elon. And the fact that you have 500 million invested from Binance should tell you a little bit about what to expect, because, let's face it, that Elon, as the Doge father, wants to see Dogecoin maybe used and accepted as a currency or as a level of currency that it would be good for him. And maybe it will be, but the most likely subject right now to be used as a currency is going to be Binance BNB. And think about that. That will, and that's going to do a couple of things, by the way. Not only, and by the way, Binance is ready for we need to look at these charts in just a few minutes, all around, and just kind of make just kind of look at them and get kind of an idea here, because everything looks primed to explode. But Binance seems to be the more likely scenario, because it's the better of the potential ones, or that BUSD. Maybe that's the one that they want to use. But that's going to lead to a bunch of things. You consider who uses the Binance, the BEP20 protocol, right? Well, Coinbase doesn't. So what's that going to lead to? It's going to lead to Coinbase having to do a mass adoption very quickly and convert their Coinbase wallet into accepting ERC-20 and BEP-20 and Bitcoin. Like it's a multi-tiered wallet, so it'll have to do that. It'll have to do that. Thank you for the $10 bomb. Will Lily Finance dump after the FOMC? I don't think so. Lillian seems to be holding really strong right now. So I don't think that there's going to be a massive amount of dump. I think that we're kind of, I think that the Lillian number right here, by the way, over the next couple of hours, again, if we take where we are and then we kind of put our, this is the time where the meeting is going to happen, and let's make that one a yellow and make it a little bit thicker so we see it. The way Lillian is playing out right now would indicate to me that there's probably, again, there's probably not as much dump or dip in this stuff as there is in others, but I would expect a retest of just a little bit down here in that 27 area, and then a pump going back up, and that's going to take us to this 3,000 number. But again, if we're on a relief rally, if we are legitimately on a relief rally, then then 3,000. I'm going to draw that down just a little bit from where I just said. I don't know if it'll pump past that. We'll have to see whether it does or not, but 100% it will go back up to 3,000. Like that makes perfect sense right there. I think and I hope that everybody has an announcement like in their chamber, especially on and on around here. All of these tokens, like I hope that everybody's got some kind of big major announcement ready. And Gabino, to get Volt, by the way, if you're interested in Volt, then you can always come over to Coin Market Cap and type in the token that you're looking for, put it over here, and then go to Markets, which is after you've loaded it in, go right here where it says Markets, and then you can click right there, and then go find where you want to trade, and then there you'll have it. So it'll be there for you. But I mean, Jesus Christ, like Volt has $3 million a day. Could you imagine? Think about the kind of money being made. $3 million a day in trading volume on a token that has 4% going to marketing. Think about that for a second. Holy shit. And then look at all the stuff that Voltoshi has been able to do. Like Voltoshi has been able to just canvas the world with Volt recognition. Just imagine that for a second. And this is a down day, by the way. This is a $70 billion day, not a $90 or $100 billion day. And it's still doing $3 billion in volume. I think I've got a bag over on BitGet, which is a small volume. And you can see here that the trading amount is not very high. Hopefully, we'll see a big little pump coming in through the whole market pretty shortly. As soon as everybody starts to get wind of what's going on, the market cap is up 6% on the day. Trading volume is 2.4 million. So there we go, 2.4 million, and 4% of that's going to the marketing wallet every single day. That's marketing, and then development, and this thing is going to explode pretty soon. And Friday there is an announcement that's going to be made on Pablo's channel, and that announcement is probably going to be that VoltaChange, I'm predicting it now, that VoltaChange is ready to go, and we should see a launch of it very, very, very shortly. So, but let's move on. Let's get back into what we were doing over here. Bitcoin's doing the same thing. Everybody should probably expect a little bit of dip. And remember, we were creating these little go lines saying that, and Jesus Christ, I really got to redo this entire, I had so many little boxes and triangles and shit like that just running everywhere on this chart. But this has been holding up really well. And that's our little go line there with the arrow. And you can see here that we're probably going to test down here and then just take off. And then I would expect, listen, if we get what we're looking for, right? This goes down here, and then boom, we are at 22,700 before you know it. And what does that mean for Ethereum? It would mean kind of the same thing, right? So we test our, God damn it. So we would test our goal line there. And then this is where we kind of hit as a support element. So let's click on that. Let's delete that one. And let's say we want this goal line here to, we want to pump here, right? And then we want to go up here, 1800. So where it's set, it would be 1794. So this is where we end up here if all things play out the right way. You know, if that's and if I'm predicting that right, like that might not be the exact, but it's very close. So it's close enough that I should be able to like we should be able to call it from that one. So, but if we kind of throw this out here and say this is the line where we're that's not right. So that's the kind of the line that we're testing here. Then that relief is, and it might take, by the way, a few days. I'm not saying that it's going to do that in a couple hours, you know, because it just doesn't work that way. But that would be, we'll hit this, then we'll start to come back up here at this 1646, then we'll bounce off 1600, and then we'll start making our way up to that 1800 number. But that's what that looks like. So we covered Dogecoin. Dogecoin probably bounces off of this right here and takes off from there. Shiba is having a big dump right now, but there's probably going to be a little bit of a relief from it. Listen, if, by the way, and I'm not, look, I would never tell you what to do, but I am going to tell you what I'm going to do because I didn't do it the last time, and I have a bag of SHIB, and I am going to accumulate a shitload more when it hits right here again. You know, I'll take this little sideways action right here. Like if I can get a dip and add a zero back to SHIB, you got to think that it's worth it over this period of time. Like let's say you just put 20 grand into SHIB right here, and then you just wait for a nice little pump and you get like a 10 or 20% pump. Like in this case, you got a 50% pump, but let's just say that you got like a 20 or 30% pump and you see it constantly happening, right? If you go back and just kind of look, you'll see those kind of spikes will happen, and it goes with the market. But you know, that's incredibly volatile, and a way that you can make a significant amount of money off of what you're doing. And Pablo's not the developer, Maddie. So then I think that really you're going to see it with a lot of them right now. Crow is having their little dump. This might be, by the way, we might be witnessing a massive move by Jesus Christ. Everything on these charts, everything everywhere looks primed to explode, except Luna Classic. Luna Classic doesn't look primed to explode. Unless you consider an explosion to be about 3,400. If you think that would be an explosion, then yeah, then you know that would make perfect sense that it would have like a nice little relief rally to that point. DeConnect is up kind of big on the day. DeConnect's always up, you know, like it trades very low volume, but it continues to just like every day. You buy DeConnect and you know it pumps up and it does stuff like this. And then like right here, it just made a little turnaround, and there was a nice pump. 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 So you know, it's always doing a little bit of something. XRP, if you can get XRP, then you can see right here. Oh, by the way, look, we called this a while back. I said this is what's happening right here, and what is it going to lead to? It's going to lead to a breakout, and that breakout took us to 54 cents. So. It was not huge, but it was what 10%. What the percentage is it? So if we get in over here at 45 and we ride it up to 55, that's 10. That's a 20% run. So it did have a breakout to the upside based on that symmetrical triangle pattern playing out. So I mean, shit. I like being able to call these things. By the way, that always looks good, especially if you are calling it right. By the way, this is not me calling. This is a guess based on what I think the FOMC is going to do, and the fact that we need a relief rally in crypto desperately at this point to really sort of, get moving in the market. Because if you go look at CoinGlass, and remember, we keep coming back to this because on the monthly, we can see right here what kind of pumps we're getting in the market, right? And if you look here, and we're just gonna everything over 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. And then just you kind of look, and there's always a 30% rally. There's always, every year, there's been a 30% rally. Every year, 30% rally, 30% rally, 50, 47, 65, 52. Bull runs are a little bit better, obviously. But even in bear markets, there's always a 30% rally, 30%. And we're looking year after year after year, right? 30%, 39. We're going to call that 30, even though it was 29.84, because we're rounding. And then 29.95. We're going to do the same thing. There's always a rally, right? Well, there's no rally so far this year. So December, you owe us 30%, you prick. So let's see what happens there, because that's what the end result kind of looks like. So we should have some kind of relief rally. And this will actually be the first year since 2013 that we haven't had a 30% upward facing relief rally in crypto. Now, the bad thing about that is that's not a great sign. But the good part of that is that also means that the market is maturing, and having more money in the market is causing less volatility, which in turn over the long term would mean a little bit more calmness in the market. So maybe it's a good thing, but we'll see. Now the Dow, since we're about to open, let's see how the Dow overnight ran. It was down to like almost even. It wasn't really in a bad situation. It's down 80, so we should see. Let's do a quick run of the earnings, and the earnings. Ardmore beats, Ardmore shipping, CDW, that's a big one, beats, Estee Lauder beats, Humana beats, CVS beats. Jesus Christ. This update is brought to you by Dr. Dre. Jesus Christ. Now we got two misses on a 1 billion revenue company. 13.4 billion revenue company only had 10.8 billion. But Synovus Energy missed big. So we got that, but everything else is beats. So that seems like a pretty decent type of day to have happen. So now we're going to get this start off. We were down 80 to start the day. Now we should go down 80 in just a second as the market activates, and they do their Wonder Twin Powers thing. And so I guess that's what we're going to see. Gala, by the way, down. Guys, everything is poised at this point for just a move. I mean, everything is look, it's very rare. It's very rare that you can just kind of run through every one of these crypto. But look, here's what you're looking for, right? This is a move to the upside and then a consolidation. That usually means it's going to move up again. You look at Matic, move to the upside, and you see a consolidation. This little dump right here, this is the pre-market. This is the pre-market fade. But you can see right here, we're minting higher lows, which means that we're in an upward trending fashion. And this right here means that we're probably heading upwards. Same thing with Link, less dump off at that time than what you're seeing from Matic. But Aave, kind of the same thing. You're coming from this bottom move. You got this big this big upward trend right here, and then you've got basically a symmetrical triangle playing out right there. AVAX, you're seeing maybe the same thing. No, you've got that little sell down that's happening right there, but you've got this upward trend happening right now. XTZ, you have this upward trend happening right now. Quant, ooh, I don't like what I see in Quant. All right, so Quant might represent a problem. Quant might be overvalued at this point. It's entirely possible that this run right here was a little too aggressive on the run up here. So heard about the Terra Rebels team. Some guys are leaving. Is it true? There's always going to be people leaving. Here's the thing, Arpit, nobody's being paid, and people are crying about paying the Terra Rebels. They want them to work for free. Well, people don't work for free. Like, you want me to do a service, I'll do a service for you, but pay me. I'm not worthless. So pay me so that I can do the work for whatever it is that I'm going to do the work on. So in this situation, if you want these guys, if you want Ed, if you want Alex, if you want Tobias working on your blockchain, pay them to work on the blockchain and stop making excuses. Like give these guys the money that they need in order to live the life that they need to live. I'm not saying make them rich, but give them the ability to pay their bills and have a little bit of money left over so that they are living a life that allows them to be uncorrupted, to be focused on what they're doing. Give them an opportunity to succeed. Like, stop being assholes. You know what I mean? And if we do that, then they will come through and they will shine. If we don't do that, then yeah, they'll take off, because who the hell wants to work for a bunch of people who don't respect them and who don't want them to succeed? And that's aren't the rebels getting 10%? No, they're not being paid. Like, that's the whole thing. The reason that there's a problem right now is because these guys are not getting paid, and every time they try to create compensation, they're being told no by the community. So no, these guys are not getting paid. Everything goes back into Luna Classic in some way. And now here's the thing: if the team Terra Rebels is getting 10% of a burn, then that is to pay for. Remember, you still have to pay for the servers. You still have to pay for everything. There's no money to actually pay people on a payroll, and you should be able to pay these guys at least 10 grand a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would seem like, and I don't know how many people there are, by the way. So I say that, and then I think, like, oh shit, like that might be it might be a little aggressive, but pay them 8 grand a month. You know what I mean? Like give them enough to live on and to be comfortable while they're working on this thing. Pay them like a goddamn tech agent, and treat them like they're worth something, is all I'm saying. And if you can do that, then we're all good. And we'll start to go. But if we don't, and we're not going to pay people, then the answer is it's always going to be a problem. It's going to continue. And yeah, all these guys are going to leave. Other guys are going to come in. They're going to have the same problem. They're going to leave. It's just going to be nonstop. And there's no end in sight for anything like that. All right, so let's go over here and let's check our market over here. Deconnect is up 20% again today. We just covered that. So we got down here, lost to zero. We gained to zero, then we lost at zero again. We got a nice little spike. Hopefully we get a spike up here, get a nice little run going, get to about a 3 million market cap. Like, that would be a pretty good spot. You know what I mean? Like, if we could get, and we're continuing to move along this little trend line here, by the way. So you can see right here, like, this is kind of what I had set up, and it's probably a little bit down here, a little more, and maybe a little bit more aggressive on the up, because I might have set it on the day candles to begin with. But as you can see right here, like, this thing is over this period of time continuing to mint new highs, higher lows for the moment. So it's having a move, and then you have Lillian. sitting at around 28.49. Again, everything is just kind of going to be in like this mode. Volt, by the way, Volt's on another level. So Volt doesn't give a shit what the market's doing. So while everything else is dumping, Volt, they don't give a shit. They're just moving. You know what I mean? Swing, 52.80 down 1.3% on the day. MMAI, also down 3% on the day. Terra is down 3.5%, but still up on the week. WAGMI, 36.77, just waiting for that launch right there. Kodachi, I got new Kodachi content coming out tomorrow. Had a little bit of a drawdown, but it's got a pretty decent. Look at the liquidity pool: 668,000 and a market cap of 839,000. Like, this is like, guys, if you're looking for a strong token, if you're looking for something where there's just money to be made, something like Kodachi, that goes a long way. When you have a liquidity pool like they have, like, that's the kind of thing where there's a lot of money in Kodachi, a lot. You know what I mean? Like, all you have to do is figure out a way to work the market and make something happen. Hulk continues to have like a little bit of downward sell pressure. And it goes through cycles. It goes through those moments where it has a big pump, then it has like some sideways action, then it has a dump, and it just continues to do that as it starts to, it's rebuilding. I say rebuilding, it's actually building its entire ecosystem. So, and that's part of the Wolverine-verse. So, and they're up 6% on the week. So I say it like they're down. They're not really even down, but they did have a nice little run up into the 8s just a little while ago. So it'd be nice to see them to get back into that area. And Yakuza, it has a market cap around 60. Look, there's a bunch of weak hands in this that are just looking to make like very small trades to make a little money off of it, and that's fine. That's the way it works. But you've got a decent amount of trading volume, small amounts, and look, when you have a $55,000, $60,000 market cap, at some point, what are you going to do right here if you're at 50,000 and there's some support, right? And you go from here to a 500,000 market cap. That's still a micro cap. That's still a micro cap. So you got to think about what your position is, and that's a very small thing right there, right? And this thing could go to, if it goes to 1 million market cap, if it just goes to 1 million market cap. And by the way, when you start to look at the day chart, you can see here on the daily chart that we're in about day 9. Most tokens, their big days are around 14. So you got about 5 or 6 days before this thing starts to just really maybe take off and show some real strength. So, we'll see what happens. But what happened to GOAT? Holy shit. Like, I've not touched GOAT. Look, I sold out. I lost 10 grand on GOAT. So what was happening on GOAT was a remarkable sort of shit show. But look at all the liquidity still sitting in it at 274,000. Yeah, this thing is just dead as fuck. Well, so GOAT had a good run, had a lot of hype behind it, and like, it's just Volta. There's going to be an announcement on Friday on Pablo's channel, so we'll see it then. But it's going to be Volta change. So if you don't have a bag packed of Volt right now, woo, chances of a huge dump. So I don't. Jesus Christ, I get so many funny things that I keep thinking of when somebody says, "What are the chances of a huge dump?" Oh, guaranteed, I'm going to take one today. But the chances of a huge dump, I don't think, are very good. we have seen the bottom of the market. Anybody who's an expert in cryptocurrency, stocks, stuff like that, we are at the bottom. We've already done the bottom. So the only thing left right now is to head upwards. Now at this point, that means that, something like this right here, we're going to have a little bit, we might have some downward movement to about 1500, because you can see here that I've got all these lines that kind of play out. And if we're going to test any line for support, then the most likely line is going to be this little go line right here. So we might dump down to this area and then spike from there and then start taking off to that 1800 range, which is what I think is going to happen. That would be my guess. But what we're going to see from the Fed today is we're going to see, and by the way, there's been no leaks again. So I want you to remember that. So the FOMC, when the FOMC has something that they want the market to know, they will leak it to the Wall Street Journal to prepare them for it. Investors preparing for the FOMC. FOMC, 87.5% chance for 75 BPS and a 12.5% chance of a 50 BPS. Now, I don't think we're going to see 50 BPS. It makes no sense right now. Oh, here you go. On every single FOMC rate hike so far this year, markets have dumped at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific, when the rate hike came out, and rallied at 2:30 when Powell spoke. So here's the July FOMC dump right here. So we're going to see that dump at 5 minutes, and then we're going to see the dump about the same level at 2:30, and then that's where we see the relief rally. This is what happened that was July, right? Yeah, so that was July, and we saw that happen. Then in June, we had this, and it dumped at 2 o'clock. We saw the dump all the way to 2:30. So this is what I'm telling you here is this is your buy time, right? Here's the May move right there. Here is the March move right there. So something is missing. That's July. That's not August and September and October. So I'm not sure this is, look, I don't know this is accurate. I just know that they say this. So let's see. Here we go. This is September. What happened in September is at 2 o'clock right here, massive dump. And then at 2:30, that's when the relief bounce started. So if you're playing this market, then, pay attention to what it is that you're doing. All right. So that means that 2 o'clock, we're going to start to see a dump right here. And then we're going to see that rally happen like right after. So whatever you have, whatever quote unquote dry powder you have on the sideline, whatever it is that you're looking for, get in on something at 2:30 exactly. Get in 2:30 exactly. Phantom is still working on their app and should have it. It's supposed to be this month. So I talked to somebody about Phantom just a couple days ago, and they said, yeah, everything is fine. We just, one of the things that did happen, by the way, is that Matthew, who is the boss over there, people were doxing him in chat, and Matthew is not a crypto guy. And they were doxing him and posting like where he lived and stuff like that. And, Matt basically said, fuck this chat. Like this is, I'm here to make a product and I'm here to deliver a product. I'm not here to deal with a bunch of babies and crybaby scumbag chads. So a bunch of crybaby scumbag chads started posting his personal information. So he said, you know what? I'm not dealing with them until the product's ready. And then when the product's ready, then I will do something. So that's what's happening. And I don't like it, but I understand why, because there's a bunch of scumbag chads invested over there, and they're a bunch of scumbag chads because they were not invested in the project because it was a good project or because they liked the project. That's not why they were invested. They were invested because they got in on a pre-sale and they wanted to get into a pre-sale, and they wanted to steal liquidity from the pre-sale. So fuck those guys anyway, you pieces of shit. I don't have a problem with them. So and see, Nation Rising, I'm down 30,000, but I haven't lost anything because I didn't sell. And when version 2 comes out, my money will come back. I'm not worried about it. I'm not weak. You know what I'm saying? I held on. I'm still holding, and I think that it turns around. It's not a dead project. It's just a project where people are pieces of shit and decide to do piece of shit stuff and treat a dude who's just trying to build an app like a piece of shit. And he said, well, if I am, then I'll act like one until I'm ready. And then you pieces of shit can keep doing that stuff in chat if you want to, you pieces of shit. There we go. Keep it in your wallet, man. I got some Phantom in my wallet. Yeah, there's well, also there's the staking app. So, you know, but they got the liquidity out, which that was one of the problems was Wolf, when he programmed it, you know, they didn't have the liquidity that they couldn't get all the liquidity out. They finally got with Wolf. Wolf helped them get the liquidity out. So now they have all the money, and now they'll be able to relaunch the version 2, because that was 200 and something thousand in liquidity. It was sitting around there. There you go. My money comes back when I grow wings and fly around Chicago. Hopefully. Anyway, so that's going to wrap me up for the day. Be very careful. Remember this, 2:30. Okay. If you want to buy, don't do anything until right exactly at 2:30. And at 2:30, put your buy order in, thinking that this market is going to pump. Okay. That's what seems to be happening right now. That's what looks to be happening right now. And I want you to consider something here. If you're already invested, that's a different investment. That's not your current investment. If you're going to DCA, sure, DCA at exactly 2:30. Just right before Jerome Powell comes up, pay attention, set an alarm so you know. But know what's going on, right? And here's what will end up happening. If you do a new position on something, like for example, I'm going to go heavy on Ethereum. But right now, I would like the price to be lower. It may not be lower. It may not go down to 14.90. Like I got it pegged right here at around 14.91. So it may not go down that low. So it may just go to like 15. It might be where it is right now. There might be no more dump, or there might be some more dump. There might be a relief pump happening in just a few minutes as the markets start to get ready for the day. You know what I mean? Like there's all these different variables that we have until that time. But then at that time, make your play. And remember that your play is a fresh play at that point, unless you're DCAing, right? So make your play at 2:30 and no later, because it'll be too late, right? Make your play by 2:30. And I would say between 2:25 and 2:30. Like that's the way those charts look like, right? So then that's when you're going to start to see the whole ecosphere start to pump, right? The only thing that's going to fuck everything up is a black swan event like Ukraine, Russia, and Russia drops a nuke or something like that. Like that's the only thing that messes everything up right now, at least for a little bit of a relief rally, because the Fed is not going to destroy these markets any more than what they are doing right now. And the markets are ready for that. So we got that 75 basis points. Maybe we'll see 50 coming for December. Maybe that's what the Fed will look to. If they say anything about that, this market will start soaring. So just make sure that you make that investment if you're making an investment at that 2:30 time, because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'll tell you right now, I am loading up on Ethereum at 2:30, maybe 2:25. You know what I mean? But I'm going to load up on Ethereum right at that moment, just so I can ride this stuff upwards for a little while, maybe make a little bit of money off of it, and then ta-da or ta-dow or titty, or you know what I mean, whatever. Matter of fact, Jesus Christ, I might also do SHIB if SHIB dumps hard enough, because SHIB likes to run super hard. So but you know, you guys decide what you're going to do. It's not financial advice. My name's Bleaves. I am always right, and we will talk to you guys again soon. I'll see you for Bedtime with Bleaves tonight. I'll be here to tuck you in. Hey, hey, hey.